one of the voices we do not hear so much or haven't heard so much so far is that one of the Amhara people. So that's why when the idea came up, we said, okay, we're going to organize something. We give you the space and the opportunity today to talk about your perspective of the conflict and about your sufferings. That does not always mean that we are always agree on everything that we say. We might not be all of the same opinion, but nevertheless, here in the heart of Europe, which also stands for freedom of opinion, freedom of speech, we want to give you that opportunity. And we also want to hopefully make a contribution to re-establish human rights and freedom and peace in your country. Because after all, we all know that conflict can only be resolved if we talk to each other and listen to each other. And of course, we also had, sadly enough, we had our own experience here in Europe some years ago with Serbia and with ethnic conflicts being used as a pretext for a lot of human rights violations and political unrest. So we might also learn from all that, exchange our ideas, and give the floor to you, the Amhara people, as our way to ensure freedom of speech and open up a dialogue that hopefully leads to some better solution. So with these words, having said that, Frank, I'm giving the floor back to you and for you to open the debate and go ahead.
And before we will start speaking, we will have a video on the screen. Please, Leo.
Liberation Front, or TPLF, came to power in 1991 with ambitions of building an independent nation of Tigray, as per their 1976 manifesto, in which they designated the Amhara people their eternal enemies. In 1995, TPLF, with the support of the Oromo Liberation Front, or OLF, drafted a new constitution for Ethiopia, excluding the Amhara people from the process to impose a system known as ethnic federalism. What followed was a campaign of systematic ethnic cleansing of Amhara people, which included firing of Amhara University professors and ousting Amhara farmers from their land across the country. TPLF systematically killed all of the Wikite they thought were educated, intelligent, or who were well-versed in history, and they buried them in the ground. I was under supervision to commit suicide out of despair. Ever since TPLF came to power in 1991, they killed us and destroyed us. In 1992, the OLF, with the support of TPLF, started mass killings of Amharas in the Oromia region. They killed many Amharas, including by throwing them off cliffs alive. They killed 9 members of my family. They beat them, including my wife. My brothers, let me tell you, they ripped apart my 34 years of marriage. The targeting began, causing agitation in the population. The then Prime Minister Meles Zenawi, fearing an uprising, covered up the killings and changed the strategy of the systematic ethnic cleansing to more covert methods, such as forced sterilization of women and simultaneously increasing vulnerability to disease and poverty. Those who were not vaccinated at that time conceived, but we were not able to. This resulted in a decline of 2.4 million people, according to the Ethiopian Census Bureau, and supported by research at Harvard University. In 3 decades, more than 5 million Amharas vanished from the census. On November 9, 2020, retreating TPLF militias and a youth group known as Samari carried out a gruesome massacre against Amhara civilians that claimed over 1,000 lives in the town of Mai Kadra. In 2018, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed Ali came to power. The Oromo Prosperity Party inherited the TPLF constitution. Since this time, the ethnic massacres, mass displacements, and crimes against humanity continued unabated. In the past 6 months alone, at least 1.5 million Amharas have been displaced, about 2,500 have been killed, and 500 children have been orphaned. You Amharas who speak Amharic must leave our country. They slaughtered children and women. I witnessed. They cut a 9-month pregnant woman open, took out the infant, and handed it to her with no mercy. Before they slaughtered them, they inserted wood into the young girl's private parts and watched them suffer. It is very sad to any civil society. I asked him what happened. He said, "Your sister has been killed, so please take her baby." I passed out, and in between, I lost my own 4-year-old son. I don't know where he is. Their main objective was to cleanse the Amharas, and they succeeded in destroying us. They pulled out the elder son, they chased and killed him. They killed all 3 of my children together and set fire to their bodies. The government militias didn't try to stop them. They burned houses, not sparing children or the elderly. They massacred everyone. You can check the farmland. It is filled with corpses. This is a global call to action against genocide. Please stand with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this touching video. We will now come to the two speakers here on the panel, and afterwards we have 3 additional speakers shortly via Zoom. I will now give the floor to Mesfin Aman, who is an independent political analyst in the Netherlands. Please, Mesfin.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'd like to thank the Brussels Press Club for allowing us to